Hello everyone. The subject of today's video is to help you, the beginner or low-rated player, with endgames. Why should you study endgames? Endgames are a very important part of chess. Some would argue that it is the most important part. If you make a mistake in the endgame, you can go from a winning position to a completely losing position in one move. Another benefit of studying them is that other beginners will most likely not study them as much and will be uncomfortable with fewer pieces on the board since there are no easy trades available. So, what am I saying is that you will have an edge over your opponent when you study endgames. What endgames should you study? Yes, there are many forms of endgames: bishop versus knight, king and pawn, rook versus rook, etc. And studying all of them could get very confusing and overwhelming in the beginning. That is why I would recommend that at first you start to focus on rook versus rook and king and pawns endgames. Why is that? Well, according to statistics, rook endgames occur the most often. And what happens when you trade the rooks? Exactly. You have a king and pawns endgame. So if you are more familiar with these endgames, you will already have a significant advantage over other players who are not so familiar with these positions. So, what is the best way to study rook versus rook / king and pawn endgames? I would recommend that you start with a mix of puzzles and later concepts in these categories. Build your confidence up slowly, session by session. Really take your time and think about the positions. Do not be fast and do 20 puzzles a session and get 5 or 10 right. Do a lower amount, for example 10, and get 7 right. Also, start with an amount that is comfortable for you and in line with the time that you want to invest into studying chess. Puzzles can be really draining, so it is advised to start with a lower amount and then work your way up. If you have an hour a day for chess and you want to play a game that day, spend 30 minutes on puzzles and play 1 or 2 games of rapid. This mix will help you improve your skills in these endgame categories by a lot, and you will get some playtime to test them. We talked about concepts. If you want to get into concepts, I would recommend looking into these 3. For king and pawns, I would look into the opposition concept. Rook versus rook, I would look into the Lucena position and the 3 Philidor positions. I will post a link to every concept stated in the description box below. There are many more, of course, but I think learning a few at the beginning and mastering them is better than knowing a little bit about everything and not mastering one of them because you want to learn everything at once. Okay, that concludes the video. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.